Okay, hello everyone. How's it going? Azren, the language nerd here. Welcome to episode number 77. Wow, that's a big number. 77 of Azren's Journal. It's been a little while since I've recorded one of these. If you're new to this segment on my YouTube channel, it is a segment where I share my personal language learning journey and, of course, give you guys some language learning advice. Man, how are you guys doing? I feel like it's been a long time since I've sat down and just had a conversation with had a conversation with the people on YouTube here. There's been a lot of different things going on the channel, and most of them have been these kind of pre-recorded, preset kinds of pieces of content. Things like the how to teach videos and the new thing I've been doing, the Ask Azren, where I have the conversations with Solana and we discuss about different things and we chat about our life and about our languages. And then, of course, what else do I have going on? What else do I post nowadays? There's the how to teach. There's that. There's these videos, obviously. I feel like I'm missing something. Tuesday Talks, of course. Tuesday Talks with Azren. That's been going on, too, for the past 6 weeks now, something like that. So, wow, just a lot of different things going on. And yeah, that's life, I suppose, right? There's always lots of things going on. I don't think it's, I'm someone who values organization and structure and patterns and routines. I definitely value those, but at the same time, I am perfectly okay with having a little bit of chaos, disorganization, launching different projects and trying different things and seeing where things land. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with it. So let's see what's going on in my world. Let's start with some life updates, then we'll talk about this whole language learning marathon. Let me actually tilt this away from the window too, so you don't have that bright light in your eyes. And I can just turn my chair a bit. Oops, there goes my phone. Okay, is that better? Kind of, maybe, a little bit, not really. I don't know. How do I do this? Maybe that's good enough. That's as good as it'll get, maybe. No, that's bothering me. Sorry, guys. That's actually bothering me. Let's move you over. Let's move this way. Maybe this is the episode with the most amount of movement in the episode ever. We'll just twist you around to like that. And I'll maybe there we go. Good enough. Okay. Is that better? Why not? Lordy, lordy, lord. So in my world, lots of stuff is new. I'm very, very busy, as always. I am working on a lot of things right now. So in September, there's going to be, I'm trying to open up, looks like it's going to be about nine or more new classes, some group classes. 8 of them are being run through one particular community association, and we're trying to get 8 different classes set up. So that's on my mind. There's another one through another community association, which is going to be one class, the first class that we have through them. So that is on my mind. The fall is always an interesting time where there's kind of, I suppose, a bit of a refreshal for students. Like there's definitely a lot of new students that start, and then we start a lot of fall programs for existing students. So that is on my mind. A random little side thing that's been on my mind is digital marketing. That's been heavy on my mind, specifically when it comes to conversion on landing pages. So if you don't know what that is, basically conversion is where you look at how many people visit a website that is promoting a product or a service and what percentage of those people end up converting into a sale. That's like what a conversion would look like. So I've been kind of thinking a lot about conversion because, whenever I've had specific pages that promote a product or service, like my conversions tend to look pretty low. They're very low, actually. And so it's something I clearly have to work on. It's something I think I can figure out, but it is something that I think I have to work on it for sure. A lot of my business tends to come reasonably organically. So people from one place or another end up coming across me and the Calgary Language Nerds, what we're up to. They follow my stuff for a while. Maybe they come to our free classes. And then eventually that kind of organically turns into people wanting to buy classes, right? Someone messages me saying, hey, I followed you for 6 months. I want to take some classes for blah, 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 or I want to have you teach me blah, 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 or work with me to do blah, 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 things of that nature, right? So, but I think there's definitely value in me having some advertisements that really drive revenue that are in my control. And I can say, I run these ads, I put these pages together, that leads to this number of sales. Like, I think that's a good idea for me to add to the repertoire, because I don't really have that. Right now. There are certain ads that I've posted and I have running, but it's not, I could be doing more, and I'd like to be doing more. So that is definitely on my mind. A potential new project around Gujarati is on my mind. So Gujarati is a language I speak with my family. It's my heritage language. And that's been on my mind. There's some, I potentially want to undertake a project where I do some more, where I promote that language a little bit more. So that's on my mind. There's a lot of stuff on my mind. There's a lot of stuff happening on a day-to-day basis. I'm doing yoga now, so I'm trying to get more flexible. That's something that's going on. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Lots and lots of stuff. My days are very, very full. And I posted something on my Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and social platforms the other day about trying to become a bit of a super Azren, quote unquote, super Azren. I'm trying to essentially, for the first 50 years of my life, give or take, I'm trying to develop as many skills as I can, learn as much as I can, get as much life experience as I can, round myself off as a human being as much as I can, become as healthy as I can, as flexible as I can, as nutritious as I can, as kind as I can, as with the best morals possible, with trying to do everything I can so that when I turn 50, I can then spend the second half of my life, assuming I make it to roughly 100 years old, with maybe the last few years maybe not being the best years because you're sick and things like that. Hopefully not, but it happens. But anyway, roughly the second half of my life, I can then go take everything acquired in the first half and go apply it to something really meaningful. So I can be like the super Azren at the age of 50 and continue to develop myself, of course, but also apply those skills to philanthropic, there we go, philanthropic projects, to all my own personal projects, to all sorts of different things, and do some really cool things in the second half of my life, so that the second half of my life is really where I do the best things that I've really done, the things that make me the happiest, the most meaningful things. So, that'll be languages too. Like, I would like to know a heck of a lot more languages at a very deep level by the time I'm 50. And I think that kind of takes me into the main topic for today, which is what I'm calling the marathon of learning, the marathon of language learning. I think that in many ways we are in a sprint culture, quote unquote, a sprint culture, not just with languages, but with all sorts of things: languages, fitness, nutrition, career success, lots of things. We're in a very sprint-like culture where we want things to happen very quickly. And I think it's talking about a marathon culture is important. I think trying to accomplish larger goals in a longer period of time and trying to work at something for years at a time and trying to accomplish that within years, I think that's a good idea. I think it's a positive way to view things. And that's how I view many aspects of my life, language learning being one of them. And I think for a lot of you, that can be a good mentality to adopt for a lot of you. When you're in a rush to try to achieve fluency in a language, you get stressed because you're not able to, you're progressing slower than you wanted to. And then you start to worry that maybe you're never going to get to your fluency goals, or you get discouraged that, it took me, after 3 weeks, I've only progressed this much. I think when you're rushed, or if you're trying to accomplish things very quickly, it makes you overanalyze, and it makes you overanalyze your progress. And every week, you're looking at all your progress and you're trying to figure out if you progressed enough or what you have to work on. And I don't think that's necessarily the most effective way to progress in a foreign language. I don't think so, not necessarily. When you picture things as a longer term, when you give yourself a longer runway, and you do treat language learning like a marathon, where you treat it like something that's going to take a long time, and it's going to be a part-time focus for you for a number of years, you don't overanalyze every week. You don't stress out if a pronunciation point is difficult for you, right? You don't stress out when that happens. You don't stress out when you're not able to understand a television show after 1 year of studying. You just keep kind of trucking along. You keep trying to consistently work at it, consistently get better. Can you get 1% better than the week before? Can you get better slowly by surely? And ultimately, I think that's what leads to. I think that is a very good pathway, to achieving fluency in another language. Hi, Kina. I see you in the chat. Hello. Yeah, I think that's a very, very good pathway to achieving fluency in another language. I think so. Yeah. One thing I think about is even if a sprint mentality, a fast-paced mentality of that sort is something that even works. I actually don't know if it works. The question becomes, why can't you achieve something quickly? Why can't you just work really hard and get there fast? I don't know. The initial thoughts that come to mind is that I don't even know if that's a strategy that works. I don't know. I suppose it depends on your definition of works. I suppose it depends on how you define, I was able to learn such and such language. I suppose that's where you can define if you're able to learn quickly or not. If your definition of, I learned really fast was I achieved an intermediate level and you did it in 6 months, well then, sure, maybe you could say you learned quickly. But if your definition of success is having a near native pronunciation, you've got a huge vocabulary, you have a very advanced level, you can read books, you can watch TV, you can listen to music and understand. I don't think there's going to be a strategy that allows you to accomplish that in a 6-month window or 3-month window or 8-month window. I just don't think so. Probably not. Probably not. And that's the other thing. I think it's a probably not. Maybe that's a good way to view it. Maybe there are fast ways to learn a language or fast things you can do to really progress quickly and achieve this and really treat language learning like a sprint instead of a 1,000-mile marathon. Maybe there are people that can figure that out, but I don't know if it's the majority. I don't think the majority of people can do that. I don't think so. And when I think about language learning advice and what's practical for people to try, I'm a big fan of practicality. I really like practicality. When I think of what's practical, I would rather give advice that's going to be beneficial, that most people are going to be able to follow and be successful with that advice, So perhaps this is a good way to wrap things up today. This is a good way to wrap it up. Maybe you got to try to actually learn a language in a sprint. Maybe you do have to try. You have to try to see what happens. Maybe you have to try to learn really fast to see what happens. See, if you try, find the 3-month program, find the fast programs, figure out how you can do it quickly, and try to do it quickly, actually. Maybe that's a good way to view it. And see if you're able to. See what happens after 8 months. How much progress have you made? And then be okay with the fact that if, for whatever reason, most of you, a good percentage of you, might not have actually learned that quickly, and you might not have progressed as much as you thought in that 6-month window, and it wasn't as good as you thought. And then be prepared to say, okay, I tried to treat it as a sprint. Didn't work out the way I thought I thought it would. Okay, now I got to start treating it like a marathon. That's the best way to do it, because there is a percentage of you who are going to see success treating it like a sprint. And so maybe that's a good conclusion. It took us 13 minutes and 43 seconds to get to that conclusion, but that's a good conclusion that we've come to. And I think that's probably a very, I've never said that before, I don't think. I don't think I've ever said it before, but that's a good way to approach things. So, all right, people, thank you for watching this. I appreciate your attention as always, and we'll chat later. Bye-bye.